Hi, my name is Arta, and today I will be looking at your website. I took a look at the colors from your brand book and your website, and I will be addressing some main things that I noticed that could be either changed or updated, or just something to think about. It doesn't mean that everything I say is the right thing to do. In the end, it's your choice and what you enjoy yourselves as well, because you want to keep your essence and your sense of self in something that you create as well. So there's always, that final choice is always up to you. Okay, so the first impressions when I come to the page, I understand it's a product that you're selling. On the first glance, there's reviews, there's categories, there's products, there's promotions, so all that is clear. So I will start a little bit on the colors when I come here. I notice here, maybe first I will mention how I would use these colors, and then we'll see if you are using them on the site similarly, or you could change some things. So this will be more of a main text color. Makes sense, it's easy to read. The contrast is good on light color backgrounds. This could be a background here and there. This will be more of an accent here and there as well, so it's not too overwhelming, and this can also look good as titles and short, large text, which is not a paragraph of text. This could be a background in an area where you need to accentuate something, and this is again a little pop of color here and there. Maybe a little bit of a background here and there, but also only for really special, important, and clear, like announcement or message or a choice or button. So yeah, let's see if we can find these colors on the site and how are they used. So here, the first thing I saw almost as an accent is the little basket, and how I usually build the site would be that I start off with the base colors, so your text and your background, and then your accent here and there, and only then start thinking, what could I color, what could I change, what could I enhance. So I feel like this one I would still keep at the base color of this dark, I think it's not black, but this black or the gray color, I feel like it doesn't need attention, like special attention, like, hey, I'm a cute basket. It doesn't serve any like special message or purpose, or that we need to be like brought, or our attention does not need to be brought to the basket just yet. So maybe it's, let's say if it was gray or black in color, let's say I go to the shop and I add something to my basket, maybe then there's a little animation or a change, like, hey, there's one new product, and maybe the bubble is now number one, because I added one item, and the bubble color is pink. So maybe when there's a special change or action or activity, maybe then we could add a pop of color for the basket. But yeah, it's a small thing, but I'm here to make sure I mention everything I could think of, and then you can see where you want to take this information. As I am browsing, I was reading the banner, and I'm not an English speaker, but my English is my second language, but I was wondering about the word yourself, and I was quite confident that it should be in one word, yourself, together, without the space here. And so I didn't want to convey wrong information, so I took a little Google search, and it really says that yourself is the incorrect form. So I would, for credibility, I would suggest to edit so you can have yourself in one word. And I know these things just happen as sometimes you're looking at the design and not really thinking too much into like text or things. I'm a designer, and sometimes I also have these little things that I didn't notice, that I wrote a word differently or misspelled something, but just a note. It's better to edit it sooner rather than later. And let's see. So here I see that this little bar. Sometimes, I saw that. Okay, let's go to the. There was another page where I feel like it was products. So here I saw the green being used for an announcement, and I thought maybe sometimes, not always, but it could be interesting to use the same color here for that announcement on the home page. It could be an interesting fresh take, but overall I like that you're using the dark color for this top bar for quick announcements or discounts. But yeah, sometimes this yellow, I think it's a good addition on your brand that you could use for highlighting, which maybe would be the next stop where I would like to mention about the yellow highlight. So here I started seeing where we are using yellow as a highlight, and I wasn't fully a fan of it, but I think it's because of the combination of where it is being used with the pink. It's just overall this color combination of pink and yellow is not looking as just like clear, maybe like thought through or modern. So I would only save this yellow for like an announcement bar or a button color. For example, let's see, when we hover, maybe here it could go to the yellow with the dark color text. So it would be yellow button and dark color text. That would be how I would use the yellow color. And I think there was one more place where I felt like it wasn't used to its perhaps full potential or was overused. I will go to a product page where we can see that we're using the yellow in a better combination, as I would like it more with the black text or dark gray text with in combination with yellow, so the text really pops well and you can see. But here we see that every item is highlighted, which means that if you're highlighting everything, is anything special anymore? For example, if we didn't highlight anything here, or let's say nothing was highlighted and you specifically highlighted made in the UK, it would be, oh my goodness, it's very special, it's specifically made in UK, not anywhere else, and that's a special information, and that's why you would want to highlight maybe less or choose something more specific that you feel like needs that extra attention, which could sometimes be hard to choose because here all of it is really like good information, but when we highlight everything, then it loses a little bit of its impact. So I would rather that when I, as a visitor, look at the site and I come to this page, I see a lot of things highlighted, my eye doesn't go to any of these things specifically, maybe I don't even read it because it just seems like one whole thing of things, and I'm sure that it's informative, but I don't really know. Yeah, maybe I'll read it, maybe I won't, but if I see just this one highlight, I for sure will right away go to that one highlight to see what are they saying, or why is that highlighted, and then it's likely that I will check out the other three because it's maybe there's other interesting information. But if it's all talking to me loudly at the same time with the yellow, I might even ignore it because it just seems like it's just noise. So there's no special moment here. So you would want to use yellow only for special highlights, special information, probably short information, so it's not like a whole block of yellow. Let's say if this whole thing was yellow, it's not necessary. So you're not doing that. I'm just saying that it wouldn't help. So highlighting only a special moment is what I would suggest doing, or like hovering on buttons. That could be a stylistic choice. It's less about a special message and more about website style, or like just about how it looks like. And then once I started getting into the highlights, I started thinking about the overall color of the site, like the background and what I'm seeing. So the background, I wasn't sure if it's this color that is being used, and then I saw that maybe it's this or this, so I took it to my Photoshop program and I put the website in here and a screenshot of the colors, and I started browsing to see if this color, I will put it here so you can see. So here's the numbers of the website color in the RGB. I click on it, and it's the number, it's the color, and I clicked here and it changed. So this is not the same. Okay, I click on this color again, maybe it's this color, and it's not this color either, so I thought that maybe this background color is this color, which is also not this color. So for the website background, I see that you're not using this, or this color. And here's another tone, which is not white. As you can see, if it was white, it would be all the way here in the corner. But when we click, we can see that the little circle moved. So this has a tint of gray. So I thought maybe this gray is this, but it's also not. So also this color does not match the brand colors here. However, small discrepancies, it's not a problem in it. Usually Pantone, as you have here listed, Pantone colors are used in mostly only printing to get really accurate color. That's a whole science. I'm not the biggest scientist in Pantone color, but so I thought we need some sort of consistency here in this moment. Let's just look at this little section. I'll just cut out this little section, and if we click on the colors here, we have one, we have the second one, there's this pink tone, it's hard to click, it's really small, and then this gray tone. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 colors already used for sort of backgrounds and accents at the same time in one area. And I feel like it's maybe, I would suggest to take a step back and just go back to plain white color in all of these sections. So in the menu area, in this products tab area, here I can see the yellow is used in more like a attention grabbing way. So I think if it was only this here, it would be this one accent where I see it right away and my eye goes to it. So yeah, I like the yellow used here. Now we'll take it out from here. But back to my initial talk about background colors, I would just keep this color white, this color white, this color white, and maybe even remove the pink, this outline here. I like whenever the pink pops up here. It's really just, it's just correct. It's a highlight. It's like nice little outlines for each little tab. it makes sense. So I love the use of the color pink in these parts, but so as I said, I would love to tone things down and dial back and take the pink out of here, maybe take the pink outline from the top bar, and yeah, and then to have everything really plain and to see where you need this attention, where do you need it. And here I think we needed the attention, and the attention is given. When I hover over, it's an interesting, fun style, all is good. It's a color that is in the right place at the right time, is what I would say. So here, I think maybe the pink line, because you can see it faintly competing with this gray of the banner, it's maybe a bit, now here it kind of separates here and there. It's maybe not the most modern style to have the outline here. There's some places where it works perfectly, but for now we're having so much going on that I would say, what can we take off for now to have it cleaner and to bring attention to the correct areas where we need the attention. I feel like the line, it's just there, it's adding more things to look at, but is it helping? I don't think it's helping. It's a little bit like an extra that it's not necessary. So I would take that for now off as well. And let's see here, I like the slidey logo area. There's some sort of like a shadow effect that is going on here. I wonder if it's necessary. Maybe it's a part of the plugin or widget that is being used, but especially also with this tan gray background moment, it feels out of place. Not sure why is there like a cube that is slightly gray, so maybe if it's possible to adjust it that it's at the end of the screen, and whenever it's resized, then the gray follows to be at the end of the screen. I understand it's meant as a shadow where the text kind of comes out of. I think the speed of this is also good. And here I would think if I need or don't need the color or not. This is something just to think about. If I want it or not, it's not incorrect or correct. But as I said, I would start with as little amount of colors and elements as possible, and only add where you feel like it's truly needed. As I was scrolling down, I thought that it would be better after the first banner and maybe the scrolling bar to have your product, and after the product, so this would be your product. So banner, product, then you would have reviews. I would perhaps have these reviews and these reviews. As I see, there's sort of two areas of reviews. Maybe they can be combined or added closer together. And then I saw these little stamps about the product. I thought that maybe if this is a bit smaller, we could also just have it somewhere near the product, maybe in the same pink area. Right here could be the stamps, just like a little note, and it would be closer to the top, and one of the first things you see that remind you of, hey, it's cruelty free and all the goodies that the product is. So yeah, I would suggest to have it a bit higher and like right after the product. And here, as I mentioned, I wasn't entirely a fan of the yellow with the pink title, and usually, let's take a look at the color palette here. We had the two pinks, and I see that they're used here. Maybe it's a little bit of a different, I'm not sure entirely yet, but if I'm using this pink background, I think I would choose to use the pink, if I use a pink background, I would use the gray title text. if I use a white background, I would use the pink title text. So here it's a bit too much with pink on pink. It is still readable. It's okay. But my personal choice would be making the text gray as well and having the pink right here. The pink on white looks super clear, cute, pretty, readable. I like it. The yellow, I don't love it, but we talked about it already. So on white backgrounds, I would keep pink titles, and on pink backgrounds, I would do gray color titles. Because here, I'm sure you noticed right away, when we look at this, only this pink section with the text, our eye right away goes to the darker text because it's easy to read and it just stands out right away. So if this text, all this text was in gray, it would stand out right away. And because this is the key information that is important. And this is the secondary information that maybe we could keep at a lighter gray or maybe in pink. This will be an experiment. So I would say if there's any titles that go on the pink background, I would suggest for them to be darker gray so it's easy to read and is grabbing the attention. I like this little like section with the photos, and you can click on different sections. I like it. So I was thinking of having the banner, product, reviews, and then could be this section. And I mentioned about this already. For the footer, usually this is a very personal thing. I like dark color footer and text to be white, and if we hover on the text, then let's say it changes into your brand color. So for example, if this was dark gray, text was white, and we hover on it, it would turn pink. That's just an accent where I would experiment to see if it looks interesting or fun, or if it just looks unnecessary, then I would not do that, but it's always something to try. And here, yeah, I think that if this was gray, this dark gray tone that we're using here and there, then I would like this being either light pink or dark pink better. But if we're having pink and pink, it's nice, but I would experiment if maybe gray and light pink is better, or gray and dark pink is better, or maybe light pink and gray is better, kind of finding that accent versus accent color, those two colors that enhance each other, because these two are really nice together. Do they enhance each other? When they're together, they feel just like they're playing hand in hand, and they just calmly look nice. But I would experiment a bit with the contrast of the gray and an accent color. And now we're going to look at our shop all area, and let's see. Okay. So here, I see that we have a counter, and all this is fun and good, but I would just say to see if it's not a little bit too many things. Let's see. This is changing by itself. This is also being active by itself. Then we have this sliding area and this sliding area. So technically we're having almost 4 things at the same time that are changing, moving, doing, saying, and it can feel overwhelming, I would say. So what I would do is to think about which one is the most important. For this page, we can see that there's weekend sale up to minus 45% here, and we go here, it says summer sale again, and here we have the sliding logos. And here's also about discount. So all of it is regarding sale and discount, and when it's so much, just right now as a visitor, so I come here and I'm a bit unsure which sale applies to me. Is it this one, or is it 45? Is it 20? Should I use the code, or is it automatic? And it also says here that it's a sale. Should I be clicking something? So it's a lot of things going on at once. So I would say maybe if you have a banner that is talking about the big sale, it is enough already to give me the number. Okay, like it's minus 45 with code this. Like I get it. This is what I'm gonna do at the discount. I mean at the checkout. This is clear and I understand it. So, but it kind of now competes with this, and yeah, it's just a lot to think about as a visitor. And when you have to think so deeply and try to figure something out, you might just be like, whatever, I don't want to, and just close the page because you just couldn't figure it out like right away. And you're here as a visitor just to explore, see interesting products, be inspired, buy something. And when it gets like you're being bombarded, then you might overwhelm the visitor, and it's just, you don't feel like staying and browsing. It's just too much, and you don't know which is the one right thing. Because also when you see all of different discounts and things going on, you probably remember that one time where you thought that you're getting a half discount, and you went to the checkout and it turns out that there was a code that was needed, or it was only if you buy for like $300. So it's as simple as a sale announcement can be. That's what I would suggest to do, so it's not confusing or in the end disappointing, where a customer thought, oh, I thought that it's 45%, but it was maybe just 20%, or was it supposed to be 45 if I did something else? So all these thoughts, you want to minimize the concern and be as clear as possible, straight up, just clear one announcement, specifically what is necessary to do, what code, what are rules, or if you have to spend 100 to get 20% off, or all of it. I know it's maybe not best for how in e-commerce how things work, but sometimes with this a little bit of honesty, like straight up, I would be okay, like I get it, you told me and now I know, I will just go and buy it, rather than to be surprised at the checkout when it's not what you thought it was, or you got confused and misunderstood what it was. So I would just revise on figuring out which area is important about the sale and which numbers and how it should be displayed, so it's clear. So here I would choose one or the other, and for now this slider, it has a little bit of errors like this where it's connecting with itself, and I don't feel like it adds an extreme amount of this useful or interesting information or this code. So I would say, why not put the code here, like with code so and so get this and this discount. Maybe this is where the yellow bar could be changed up, and where it grabs your attention and you see the code, you see the discount, and you see what it is, what it means, and there's no second thought or questioning. But yeah, I think it's also hard for a computer. As you can see, my computer is struggling a little bit with all the action that is going on, and for an average user, they might not have a laptop meant for designing, which is supposed to be able to handle stuff like this easily. For them, it might be even more laggier, or the page might not want to load properly. So you want to minimize the weight of the website on a computer, on a great computer or on a bad computer. It should work equally. So yeah, here, as I mentioned, if the background was white, I believe it's not white. Yeah, it's a little bit tinted gray. So if the background was white, I would say to keep the pink titles, but with the gray, it slightly eats away at the color, and for the eye, it's just that tiny change that makes it a little tiny bit harder to read it. So for readability, accessibility, and people who have troubles reading these, like with colors and reading in general, it might be just overwhelming to the eye. So I would also make this to be clearly white, so the text is popping out better. So the yellow I wouldn't use for, especially if here we have gray and yellow and pink, and this pink looks different than this pink just because it's a color illusion, but it feels like right away there's so much going on. My eye is hurting to read this area. It's just too much. It's not necessary, and it doesn't look as modern as it could. So here the buttons, I like the pink button. As I mentioned, the yellow could be used as like a hover, but yellow is not a huge part of your brand, so this could be an experiment maybe for a hover button for subscribe to our emails, and when you hover on the subscribe, it changes to yellow. Maybe only there a button hover in yellow, like it's doing white here. It could be an interesting accent. Overall on this page, I understand we're having categories and the product is here. All of it is clear. Oh, I feel like something is oh no. All the text is centered. Okay, that's good. It's a very, very long page, and what I want to note, I like that here we still have the menu that is following us, and we can browse these categories. But sometimes a visitor of the first time might forget that this is where he could, or they could quickly browse the categories. So they might feel like, oh my gosh, where do I have to scroll for the sections? Why can't I just overview it? So a secondary reminder that there's categories, and you could, let's go here, and let's say there was a small title categories, and it could be shop all, shop confidence boosters, shop X, shop Y, shop Z, and I would scroll, and the little categories always stays here, and I could scroll, and I could already see almost in the future what categories are coming next, or where I could jump quickly, so I don't have to keep guessing. And as I mentioned, someone might not remember that this is where they had the little drop down. Even for me, when I was just learning about your site, I thought that there was no little like overview, and after like I would say the third time of feeling like I saw it somewhere, I found, oh, it was here. So having it also just visible clearly on the side is a useful thing to have on a website for people who are here for the first time, and they can already see all the information, and yeah, they don't have to scroll in case they missed it here. And that would be a website feature that I would suggest. Let's scroll all the way down. Okay, so I saw that there's some change in products. There's oh, and okay, I will address a couple things. So there's shop new arrivals, and there is shop limited edition products, and they seem, I mean, they're technically the same, but it's unclear if the limited edition, are they just coming here for a week and then going away and it's only a special collaboration, or are they new arrivals that are staying here for the long term? So this category kind of seeing the same products in different categories that are new arrivals and limited edition was a bit contradictory, I feel like. So I would maybe choose one or the other. But this is more to sit down and think about the copy of the website. And I'm just commenting on this more as just a visitor if I were to shop. And I would be like, is this a special product just now, or is it new, or is it just now new, or yeah. So I would think about these two categories a bit more. And when I saw these pictures, I thought they looked quite different from this style, which is a good thing, because I believe that these ones are stylistically stronger and look very real, modern, and just fresh. I would say the styling for these and the shadowing, colors, the angles is a lot better, and I really liked it. And you can see a big contrast. These feel more maybe photoshopped, or the contrast is not fully there, as we can see the shadows here. This is in the recent years, in the last maybe 3 or so, or maybe more, the photographing with these harsh shadows has been a very like a modern style. It looks good, it feels real, it feels authentic. So here's the softness of it, maybe feels a bit older. So and here it's again a bit sharper, like the shadow is harsher. So I would I don't know how your photography shooting process goes, or if it's Photoshop, if it's not, but I just want to point out that this looks very modern and fresh, and I would suggest going this style in the future for the photography. The product looks really high quality, clean, beautiful, modern, fresh. So yeah, I just wanted to mention this. Let's see, so that's the shop products page. Let's say I'm going to click on one. Okay, I see that it's sold out. But yeah, overall, I think this photo would also just stand out a lot better if the product page was white. And then everything would also just stand out. The title would stand out better, and the buttons and any highlights if you choose to have. And here also these buttons on this color, I would say I'm not sure. It sort of looks a little bit not as modern, but if the background was white, this color would right away look a bit more fresh. So I would say that this color plays a big role into how other things appear when placed on this color. Okay, we have reviews. Yeah, so I would say to rethink this background if it's necessary to be tinted. To summarize, I would tone down in the colors and effects initially, and then to really choose where the color is very, very necessary for highlighting, or using the pink as your brand color for titles, and making sure that maybe white is used more throughout the website, because it's just a clean background, and usually every other color can stand out well on white and is readable also for today's standards on internet and readability, so all sorts of people can look at the website and see things clearly is a new standard that everyone is making sure to follow. So more contrast and clarity in color is what we want. And let's see, to revisit the Pantone. So overall, this selection I think is really good for you. It's a beautiful, interesting color palette. So these are more for printing, and there could be some color changes if you do the RGB, that is for looking at colors on the screen. But you can always use the eyedropper tool and just follow and have the same let's see, the same color codes when editing the website, to make sure that you're let's say if you're gonna use this slightly tinted white gray, that you always use this color code on the website in every area. So it's not that you only pick it by eye. One time you might be picking a similar color, one time not so similar. So I feel like there's a little bit of a confusion on the site with the brand colors. But this can happen. It depends a lot on screens, on the different web applications. Sometimes just, yeah, it doesn't look exactly like you would think it would, and it's okay to adjust it. Okay, so overall, I really liked your site. I think that you've done a really great job, a very interesting product. You have all sorts of reviews and accents, and by accents I mean the colors to use to accentuate, so you have an interesting aspect to the site. It's not just a simple site. It has its own feeling and style, and your brand book also shows that. So I think that overall everything is good, and I hope that you can find some inspiration in my commentary and see if you would like to edit something, change something, or you would like to keep it as is. And yeah, good luck with your product, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.